Hey guys, we just want to put a little trigger warning in this video. We talk about body issues and weight loss journeys and eating disorders. So we just want to put that in there because we think it's the right thing and respectful to do. So if you continue to listen, we hope you enjoy.
Okay, well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the third
Podcast.
My name
Thank
is
you.
Isa.
And my name is Grace Ann. Thank you for joining us today.
We have a very, very exciting podcast for everybody today.
I have no idea what's going on.
We're going to be talking about weight loss journey, confidence, and a lot
Self-love,
more.
baby.
But before we get into that, if you guys watched the first podcast, we talked about showering, and we had a little spiff about that. I'm here to tell you on behalf of my mother, she doesn't wash her legs either.
I'm not alone.
Many people do not.
But we're not all the same.
We're not all the same. We're not
all the
alone.
same.
And that's what makes us so beautiful.
Exactly.
So we just wanted to clear that up. Did you have anything else to say about that?
Mrs. Quadra, I knew we were the same. I knew there was something that just connected us on a deeper level. And now I know. And I love you, girl. I love you. Thank you.
Okay. Like I said, we have a very interesting, very honest, maybe podcast coming, right?
We're going to get into our emotions.
Into our emotions, into things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I wanted to touch on some quick pop culture before we dove into, the good stuff.
Hit me.
So, we're roommates. One of the things we have in common is we love The Bachelor.
Love
we get all
The
of our
Bachelor.
friends to come over every Monday when it's on, and we watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And this season was Claire Crawley's season.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to happen. Hasn't been live.
Genuine, authentic, a real woman, a real strong woman.
Yes.
Claire Crawley, that's her.
Yes, we love her. But we all know that the star rumored to left The Bachelor, and with a man named Dale Moss, 12 days after she got there, correct?
I think he's cute.
I didn't think he was cute at first, and I'm seeing this picture, and he does look cute. I will pop it up right here. I want you to actually see it.
He's cute.
So he is cuter than I thought, but what do we think about that? Do we think, I wanted to hear your thoughts, because the podcast hasn't heard your thoughts on getting a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and then just leaving it after 12 days.
So there's been a lot of information out there, and the last thing I've seen from Reality Steve is that there were actually things that the things that we first had heard were actually not what we thought. Okay. That apparently the producers had leaked information to make it sound a certain way when it was actually a different way. Apparently, the last time I read up on this was over a week ago. Reality Steve had said that it was actually the producer's idea.
Yeah.
For her, they had seen how much she enjoyed Dale. And that's his name, right?
Yeah,
I love that his name is Dale.
Come on, Dale.
Dale,
you're great,
love that. No disrespect to your parents. I personally like it.
But you wait all that time, and okay. Let's go.
What's up, Dale?
Chip and Dale.
So apparently the producers had seen how much they were getting on together, and they obviously, with everything going on with Corona, and start dates have been pushed back, and I believe they're shooting everything at a resort, hotel, or whatever, all in one location, because everyone is quarantined together so nobody gets sick.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. They didn't want the season to be boring, and I guess they had seen after I think they had filmed at least 2 or 3 episodes. They had seen how much she was really liking him, and apparently she had expressed how much she liked him a lot, so far to believe love.
Wow.
And the producers actually gave her the option, hey,
wow,
what about if we ended right here for you? Would you want to go off with him? And by off with him, I think they just meant they would still be at the resort, but they'd be together alone. And because they knew how much they could ride this wave, it would be literally the most dramatic season ever. Yeah. Wow. So apparently that's what happened. But the thing is, when the news first broke, it made it sound like Claire was a dramatic biatch.
Yeah.
And that she, quote unquote, refused to leave her room. When in reality, apparently, the producers literally gave her the option. And I believe they wanted her to choose it because, and this is just my 2 cents. So, obviously, I think you're about to say, like, Tayshia is the new
I'm pretty
Bachelor.
Sure Tayshia is the new Bachelor,
Didn't they announce it?
Did they? Oh,
Didn't they announce
that
it?
That wasn't the news I was
Have they
reading.
not?
I think that...
there's been pictures, so it's rumored.
Yeah.
I swear E! News, posted an Instagram about it, over a week ago.
You're probably right.
I might be wrong.
I just wanted to update because we want to bring in a Bachelor side to it. When it comes on, we'll definitely probably talk about it. But yeah, I think if you fall in love, you gotta do it. But
I say yeah. And also, so this is the thing. So I was under the impression that Tayshia had already been named the next Bachelorette.
Pretty sure.
And if that is the truth, then I understand because. Everybody, especially with the BLM movement, everybody, with what's her name, Rachel Adams? What's her name?
Was it Rachel? No, that's a different girl. Rachel. Oh my God, what's her name?
Rachel. Her name is Rachel.
Rachel.
The only black. Rachel Lindsay.
That was her name.
Love you, girl. Love you.
Rachel.
I love her personality. She was the only and first black Bachelorette. Period. Yeah. And she had come out with how obviously there was some tension because they had promised her some things that they were gonna, change some things about the show. And then, they had talked about that on her podcast about a month ago.
Wow.
But this is why I found it interesting that rumored to be Tayshia because in my mind, that was okay, Tayshia's black.
Yep.
There's been a lot of, tension and questions about the franchise, about, them not choosing a black Bachelorette. So I just think, I don't want to say the word convenient, but it just seems pretty convenient that, Claire had a few episodes. And also, when they announced that Matt James was going to be the Bachelor, literally there were so many people that were saying, we need to skip Claire's season. And so I think also that was another reason, producers saw that the public honestly just didn't care anymore. Because, and I feel for Claire because,
it's not her fault.
She got announced, excited for love, and then the quarantine happened, and then she already knew who her guys were. And that's another thing. Yeah. There were rumors going around that she had actually talked to her men before the season had started filming. Yeah. And so people are saying that that's a big reason why her and Dale were already in love because they had talked for so long before the show had started filming. So I'm happy for her. I have never seen her on previous seasons. I really didn't start watching The Bachelor until a couple years ago. Yeah. But I've seen clips and stuff, and she definitely she seems like a character. That's a good thing. And definitely she acts out with her emotions, but honestly, same. So I'm happy for her. Do what you want, live your life, and if that's what makes you happy, then go for it.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. That was great. I'm going to pick one more. Okay, so the other pop culture news I have for you. Did you hear what happened with Megan Thee Stallion this time? Well, last time we talked about her because the WAP
video.
Yeah,
that she got shot in the foot?
Yes.
By her ex-boyfriend or her boyfriend at the time?
Current boyfriend at the time, actually. So let me just give you the quick rundown because right after we finished the last podcast, this news broke out immediately after. So I think it was about a month ago, news broke out that she was shot in the foot. You can see the video of her coming for the police and the blood was dripping. She never said who shot her. She never pointed any fingers. She's I don't want to deal with drama, just let me do my thing. Her boyfriend at the time, who's a rapper, Tory Lanez, then started tweeting things, kind of acting like Megan is lying, kind of saying, oh, she stepped on glass, she was just mad because Kylie was there. Starts saying all these lies. Finally, Megan's okay, if I'm going to cover for you, you're not going to then go spread lies about me and try to make me seem a certain type of way. So then finally she just had enough because he kept tweeting. Finally she had enough, and good for her because, I'm sorry, you don't need to cover for someone who shot you.
I will just say, some people do not deserve to have a Twitter. Thank you.
I agree with that.
Just don't talk.
So, So the point is, she went on live, Instagram live, and she's like, you know what, I've had enough. I don't like drama, but if you're going to go around talking about me, I'm going to call you out. Tory Lanez shot me in the foot more than one time.
More than once.
He has anger issues, obviously. So that kind of sparked a talk about how so many male rappers or male figures in the media were so vocal about her WAP video, but there was not one thing about talking about their bro, Tory, who shot her. So there's like, where's accountability? Where's all this stuff? Finally, Michael B. Jordan, who we love, well, who I love.
Oh, I love you, Michael B. Jordan.
He came out, he's like, we need to protect our black women.
You are a piece of artwork that God sent to this earth. Thank you.
So he stuck up for her. He was like, Megan, like, I'm with you. We need to protect our black women. We need to protect our women. More celebrities, Halle Berry. A lot of people came out. So it was interesting to see how people were not as vocal this time. But finally, after people were being called out, she's getting the support. And Tory was charged with, he's a suspect now. So obviously it's her word against theirs, so they have to. But he was found with the gun at the scene. He was the one with the gun. But she did not claim herself as a victim at the crime. So therefore, you know, the cops like took her straight to the hospital. That's why people thought she was arrested, but they actually took her to the hospital because she had bullets in her foot. But I thought that was a crazy story. And Megan is a queen. I'm sorry, but I love Megan.
She is.
Yes.
How does getting shot in the foot happen?
So what happened was they were all fighting. People think it was just them fighting. It was her best friend, Tori, and the security guard. And they were all fighting, like, yelling in the car, and Megan said, I don't want to fight anymore, I've had enough. She apparently, according to her, runs, like, gets out of the car. As she's trying to get out of the car, he shoots her, one in the heel. Like, one hit her heel. 4 bullets were casted. 4 bullets were casted. So he shot at her 4 times, and according to the report. And 2 of them hit her foot. And she still could walk. Like, I'm sorry, but you're cutting off my leg if I get shot in the leg.
She's a bad bitch.
She is.
Okay, how long ago was, remember how much shit Chris Brown got because he beat the shit out of Rihanna?
Yep.
And with his fist, right?
Yep.
And Tory
Yep.
shot at her 4 times.
Yep.
And what?
And for a month, he was just chilling.
What?
He was just chilling. He was just chilling.
And yeah, and aren't people like turning the story on?
Yes. They were.
Because of lies he is spilling?
Yes.
Yep.
And also, people had to guess because she wasn't saying anything. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't
Traumatic
want to deal with
event. Your boyfriend shot you 4 times.
What the heck is wrong with people?
How would you act?
Oh, can you imagine? Like, oh my god, that must have been so scary.
I can't even imagine.
I hate when I stub my freaking toe. Or my heel. Imagine getting boom.
Me last night when I completely ate the ground in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And like,
We got
ow.
a boo-boo. We got a boo-boo too.
It hurts so much. Literally, like there's like I also have like a huge knot up here.
She's tough.
I am very clumsy and it hurt a lot, and I honestly really wish someone would have got it on video because I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, so much pain. But
I wish
back
so
to
badly.
Tori.
Well, yeah.
That is not okay. He should not have a career anymore. I don't care what people say. He shot at somebody. He shot at a woman. He shot at his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Then went on to lie about the circumstances, and there's no accountability.
No.
And yet people are attacking the victim.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, saying that she was just a jealous girlfriend.
I
Before they found.
Don't understand.
Honestly, yeah, no,
I don't understand.
it's not okay. So I'm glad she stuck up for herself, even though she said she didn't want to. Megan has like said that she's been through a lot. She lost both of her parents, I believe, like right, and I don't know. She's been through a lot, and she's from Houston. So.
I don't know a lot about her, but I honestly like just started like really looking into her a couple of weeks ago. But she's definitely somebody that I want to get behind and support, and because like she's near our age, right? Isn't she in school, like in Houston, or online or something?
Probably online, but she's like 22 or something. I
love that.
Exactly how
You're a
old she is.
queen. We support you and rock on, baby. We have a guest.
Oh my god.
We have a guest. Okay, don't be rude. You are showing.
Oh, she's 25. I'm sorry. She's
you
25.
are Oh, guys, this is Lila.
This is Lila.
This is my girl. Liz, thank you. Honestly, she just blessed us with her appearance. So yes, thank you.
Well, speaking of you.
Speaking of me.
Were we? I don't know. But speaking of you.
Okay, hi.
A couple nights ago, Grace Ann and I, and Jessica, you were there, right?
Yes.
our manager was, we were all chilling in our living room that's actually right over there.
That living room has seen so many different conversations.
And let's not get into
it.
Because I know what you're talking about. Well, a lot. It's seen a lot. We actually talked about it today, how much that couch has seen. That couch has seen a lot. So, the point of what I'm saying is we all, when you're with your friends and y'all just get into a deep talk, it's late at night, y'all are all tired, but it's like, y'all hit a topic that y'all haven't talked about before, and then someone opens up, and then tears start coming. It's a whole situation.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I really want Whataburger or Taco Bell. It's usually one or the other.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
It's usually one or the other.
So, we had a conversation like that. We kind of got into certain topics, and one of the topics was you and the difference between you when you're in high school and now, and is it correct to say, like, a weight loss journey?
Yeah.
Like, is that something, like, does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you really got into it, and we were talking how I think it's an important conversation, how, like, many people go through weight loss situations. Many people go through phases where they feel, like, not good enough or, like, very confident. So, I just thought it would be nice to have you, if you're comfortable, talk about the situation.
For sure.
Before we get into that, a preface for this conversation, I think it's interesting. I was looking up some stuff that 1 in every 4 young adults, like kids, teens, and young adults, think that they're extremely overweight, even when they're not overweight. They just look at themselves. And so I want to talk about, like, how society sees us, how you all about that. So can you give us, like, a timeline of, like, when you started? Was it a process of you losing weight, or did it just happen? Like, what?
It was definitely a process. Oh gosh, what was the year? I think it was the spring semester after I had graduated high school, so that was 2017. So I believe we were in one of my friends' backyards, and we were all, like, talking about how, like, we just wanted to get healthier, and they had actually were like, we want to lose weight, like, we want to go on a diet. And honestly, like, up until then, like, so for my backstory, like, everyone has their own personal reasons, like, why they want to lose weight. For me personally, it's because I have a heart condition, and the heavier that I am, the harder it is for my heart, to work. And so in order for me to live, like, my best, like, healthy life, like, I want to live for a really long time. So I have a heart doctor, and I remember we've had multiple conversations, as I was growing up, that it would be of my best interest to lose weight. And so when we had this, that was that. And then, I think it was just kind of like having this conversation with my friends, they wanted to, like, kind of like, we were going to keep each other, like, accountable.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, like, I want to do it. Like, I know it's going to be beneficial for me. But the thing is, like, at that time, I really had never thought of myself as obese. And I was pushing 300 pounds. Yeah. So I knew for my health, physically and mentally, like, I wanted to live a long life.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I think we had started, it was really and truly, like, I don't want to say lasted, but they went strong for, I think, probably about a month.
Your friends?
And then they just kind of, like, and they are all beautiful. I was the biggest, like, realistically, like, if you're looking at all 4 of us, like, to be healthier, like, I was definitely the one that needed it the most. And so even after, like, they had, like, kind of, like, dabbled off and, like, stopped, I, like, kept on going because I started seeing results, and, like, I started feeling better. And
something interesting that you said that maybe you could talk about is, like, when you were at that weight, you didn't feel like you weren't were you self-conscious about it? Were you, like, bullied in any way? Because I know that's, like, a common, because I know the answer, but I just think it's interesting.
Yeah, there are a couple of, like, times when I was in, like, middle school that this one guy in particular was, like, I remember, I'm like, ugh, I hate this because to this day, like, that, it still, like, sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
But it was literally, like, 7th grade. I think we were in art class, and I was sitting on the ground, and he had, like, leaned over to one of his friends saying how I should never wear shorts.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Because, like, my thighs. And so,
you gotta be proud of those thighs,
I know.
bro. We love big thighs.
Big thighs forever.
Big thighs forever.
So that's really like the only thing that really like sticks out in my mind. And another thing is just like I have really bad asthma. I got diagnosed with asthma when I was in like the 3rd grade, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe 5th grade. I don't know. PE class was. I'll never forget the day I had to go to the doctor. I was like, I can't breathe. Other than that, like that's really the only incident I can think of. Was like, I don't want to put quotes around it because it was bullying.
Yeah,
like that was a very mean remark. But I had never looked at myself as someone who was like that big. I didn't, you know, like I never, in my mind at that time, didn't think that I was getting treated differently.
Yeah, I think that's interesting also because you'll see the skinniest girls in high school concerned about their weight, like going into eating disorders, which is a very serious thing. And it's like, no one should deal with that. But it's like so crazy how, especially, I think it starts in high school and then from like college also. But I think it's so interesting that like the study that I was reading showed that girls were like twice as likely or 3 times as likely to feel this way than guys. But I still think it's an issue about guys. Like guys, the like idea of how they should look is also a problem.
And I will say eating disorders can 1000% also happen in the male community.
Oh, for sure.
And that's something that is often overlooked. Like people always associate, usually associate eating disorders with females, but guys can also suffer from it.
Like I think both men and women have like such a like false idea of what the body should look like, and it just starts so early. And that's, luckily for you, it was like a positive situation, but like for a lot of people, it could be a very negative one.
Yeah.
Do you regret any part of the weight loss journey? Like whether it was how you lost, like I don't know how you lost the weight or why you lost the weight or after losing the weight, like was there anything?
There's really nothing that I regret. I mean, there was a big help for me was I didn't ever go like hardcore into like working out. It was really just honestly moving more, and I would take walks every single day. And what helped a lot also was the same semester I started my weight loss journey, I was also in a PE class for school, and so for college. And so and it was an online PE class, but we had to like use an app, and like we're required to work out every single day for a specific amount of time. Oh, wow. And so that also held me accountable because like I was literally doing it for a grade, and that really helped me kind of it was honestly perfect timing because it helped me transition into making that into like a lifestyle. Like even after the class was over, I still would walk every single day for at least an hour, if not more, and I really enjoyed it. Like typically I would actually leave my phone and just like listen to music like with my old school iPod. And I would just go walking like around town or like around the track, and I would just like do my own thing. Wow. So it to me it was also just like it was really nice.
So like mentally really nice. Also
for sure.
Which I think is like an important part of working out or going on walks, like just being active, like mental health, that will help your mental health a lot. Also, like you said, you were walking outside. Yeah. Like being outside also helps.
Just being in nature under the sunshine. Yeah.
Something that stuck out to me when we had the conversation was that you said, obviously, like, privilege is a thing, and we both agree that, like, pretty privilege is a thing. And, like, people will treat you better if you're prettier or smarter or, like, benefit them somehow. So, like, you said that you noticed that people treated you so differently and that you didn't like that. Like, obviously you didn't like that.
So, I don't know if you remember, was it the last podcast or the first podcast? I think it was the first podcast. We had talked about, like, if I had ever dated in high school. Yeah. And I had said no. And you were shocked. I was under my knowledge. I was never looked at like that by guys. But honestly, like...
You never know.
You never know. But... being from a small town, like, there really wasn't that big of a pool to begin with. That's true. But, like, when I think of high school Grace Ann, in my head, to my knowledge, I was looked at as, like, the journalism girl, the girl always behind the camera taking, sports photos. I managed basketball, volleyball, and softball. Like, that was my life. Yeah. And then whenever I was at home, I was the girl to, like, be in my room reading romance novels till, like, 3 a.m. Yeah. Which there is no shame in doing that. No shame. But I definitely lived out all of my, like, romance in high school through a book. Yeah. never really, I didn't experience any sort of like flirting or even honestly like flirted with guys until I had lost a lot of weight.
That's insane.
And I don't know, like
it messes with your mind a little bit, like.
it does, because I think when I saw when I had like lost a lot of weight and like I was, I looked different. I know I look different.
Yeah.
That still to this day there will be people that haven't seen me in a long time and they're like, wow, Grace Ann, like, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, first of all, who knows if like that was the reason? Because who knows if you would have looked exactly the same in high school? Like, who knows how your life would have been? Who knows if you would even dated?
And I can also say, like, that's not knocking anybody, you know, because I can understand how you never really know why someone is that size or why they are the size they are. And even like with me pushing 300, I never ate a lot. Like I didn't like binge eat, didn't do any of that stuff. I was just like honestly bigger. And even you can ask my sister is older, she's like 9 years older than me, but when she was like around my age in high school, she was also bigger, but the difference was she played 5 different sports in high school. So she lost like all that weight by doing that. And that's actually something we could talk about. Was my freshman year of high school, I went from being able to play sports to not playing sports at all because of my neck issue. So yeah, my C3 disc, like I have a bulging disc issue, and so that's also causes me to have really, really bad migraines. And so that is a big reason why I couldn't play sports anymore, because it was too dangerous for me too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which, that's another thing that happens to a lot of people, like athletes. They'll play sports their whole life, they get hurt, and then they're not active again. They start to gain weight, and then they get in this mental space that's like an issue. But because
of that, that's a big reason why I got so much more into photography, taught myself how to take pictures, and just really
like dove into that.
And that's how that's why I manage sports. That's how I fell in love with the stats side of sports. Literally, that's why I'm doing the major that I am at school. So everything 1000% happens for a reason.
100%.
But I will say, like, I look back, like, the last, like, handful years of my life, and it's just, like, we had talked about on, a few nights ago about how, like, sometimes, like, I'll look at pictures of myself from high school, and I'm like, wow, I miss that girl.
Yeah.
I miss that girl, because I never cared about my weight until it felt like other people did.
Yep.
Because I think one of the worst compliments you can give somebody when you've noticed that they lost weight is, wow, you look so much better.
I think unless they're saying, I have a goal, I don't like how I look, I'm going to do this goal, no, still saying better is not the move.
But the thing is, it was also people who I had not even really talked to a lot in my life.
They're not like close.
And I'm just kind of like, why are you talking to me now?
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I go back to, I do think I definitely, not even just with like guys get treated differently, but also honestly everybody. Yeah. Like, I honestly think some of my friends from back then like viewed me a little differently, treated me a little differently, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's important that we're having this conversation. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to be vulnerable, because my weight loss is something I definitely haven't really talked about, honestly, publicly.
And that's what I was going to say. When you're talking about people treating you differently, you are someone who, in my opinion, treats like everybody the exact same. You don't care if they're what race, sexuality, religion, what they look like. Like, you, no matter what, if someone acts a certain way, you're going to treat them like that because of how they act. So I was like curious, do you think that subconsciously like has anything to do with it? You've been treated differently because of how you look, how you think you looked. So like, do you think, even if it's in the back of your head, is that why maybe you treat people the same, or is it just that you just do that?
I think I just kind of do that, but I will say I think that's such a big reason why I was looking forward to getting out of my hometown and coming to Sam Houston, because I was like, I'm gonna meet people who didn't know what I used to look like.
Oh wow.
And I think that to me was so exciting because it got to the point where I was tired I was so exhausted from people telling me like, you look so much better.
Yeah.
Because I think it just put this like pressure on me. I was like, okay, if I don't look this way, if I gain weight back, people aren't going to view me the same. They're not going to treat me the same. And I think that is so messed up right there because it's like, I never cared about what I weighed until I was at my lowest weight.
Well, I feel like that like triggered it. Like you're walking into a room and then someone's like, "Oh my god, you look so much better now." Then you're like, "Do you think I looked bad a year ago? Like what are you saying?"
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I feel like that triggers.
And I think it's also like I started getting attention from guys, and I was so excited that I was getting attention from guys because like, oh my gosh, like I never experienced this in real life. It's always been like through a book, which that is not an issue at all. Like,
do it.
Whatever pace you're going at in life, you know, with friendships, relationships, whatever, you do you.
Yeah.
But personally, I was like so overwhelmed with attention and like flirting, and I was like, wow, this feels amazing. And I got so excited with it, you know? And I think it was kind of just like, I got scared, like, is this going to go away? Like, I had never experienced any type of that attention in high school. So all of a sudden I was in college and I was getting this attention and I was able to like flirt with guys.
Yeah.
And I honestly like didn't know how to handle it, honestly.
Well,
like,
do you have advice for girls or guys who didn't have that attention, all of a sudden have it? Like, do you have any advice for
I think you really just have to stay true to who you are, because I have heard stories about people who have lost a lot of weight and they just became this completely different person, as in like they actually kind of became mean and just kind of lost who they are in the process. And I am 100% a believer that that is not necessarily their fault. I from what I've witnessed, or like also like how I've been treated from people who like I said don't even realize what they're saying, can be like very triggering.
You get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I do. And I will say, like, I look back on, like, when I first, you know, had even, like, transferred to Sam Houston. And I just think, you know, I am in such a healthy and happy and loving relationship now. And I am so grateful for Vincent. I'm so grateful for Vincent. He is... I mean, I'm gonna start crying. He's amazing. But oh gosh,
we got the tears on him. We got the tears on.
Dang it! Ah. Okay. I am so grateful for him, and he, like, I think self-love and self-care, that's like it's everyone has a different journey with it, and I've had like my ups and downs, especially like having that like worry, like you know,
you're gonna make me cry. You don't stop.
Oh, like, okay, I gained 10 pounds. Oh, people are gonna notice. Like, they're not gonna treat me the same. And like, I obviously, like, you shouldn't put all of your self-worth into the person that you're dating. And trust me, like, I have so much self-love for myself. Everyone has their, you know, good days and bad days. You know, we talked about this before, like, one day you're like, oh, and the other day you're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling myself. But he has definitely helped me along the way with being like, you don't have to look a certain way for society, you know? And I think it is important that we're talking about this, because this is something that can honestly, I don't want to say embarrassing, but like maybe a little shameful, you know?
I mean, I don't think you should be ashamed about it, but I get what you're saying for sure. I think everybody deals with issues like that. Maybe some are way more drastic than others, but everybody has insecurities. Like, everybody. Like, so all I want to say is, like, let's spread love and, like, compliment people.
And that the number that is on that scale does not represent you.
And that's what I was going to ask you, how you felt about scales, diets, and stuff like that. Because I know some of how you felt.
So I think the first thing I told myself when I started, like, losing weight was I didn't want to weigh myself every day, because I think that can lead to a very unhealthy lifestyle. And get you to do things that aren't healthy for your body.
Yeah.
And so when I first started, and even, I mean, honestly, it's been weeks since I've stepped on a scale.
Yeah.
Honestly, just throw that sucker out. Like, I'm a firm believer that, honestly, inches are, honestly, because, like, you could lose more inches than you could weight. And also, like, especially if you're working out, you're building muscle,
Yeah,
like,
it's gonna be even.
that number on the scale is going to fluctuate so many times throughout a day.
Yeah.
So
Also, it's about how you feel like you
yeah,
look when you look in the
exactly.
mirror.
And I think if there's any advice I can give, just eat healthier and drink a lot of water. I think is the main thing. Water is the move.
Water is the move.
I have water in here today. Y'all should be proud of me. But I think everybody's journey to whatever they want to look like is different.
Yeah.
And everybody's reason to why they want to be healthier is different.
Yeah.
But I definitely think as a society in whole, the number on the scale shouldn't even be talked about, honestly, unless it's with your doctor. Like, people also, like, it's rude to ask someone how much they weigh.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Like,
But why?
don't do it.
Why?
Why?
would you do that?
Why? Like, are you comparing? Like,
Yeah. Just everybody struggles with it. Everybody is insecure. So look out for the other person. Look out for the people you love. Just compliment them.
and even, you know, stop fat shaming and also stop skinny shaming.
Yeah. 100%.
Stop skinny shaming, because
Yep.
I know I have several friends who they are tiny, but they can't help it. You know,
Yeah.
they eat the most food, but it's
Yeah.
like their just metabolism is like, I can't snap. But you know, it's like, it just
Yeah,
it's really
everybody's
fast.
literally
Everybody's built differently. Everyone's genetics is different. So
And that's amazing. I would never want to live in a world where everybody looked the same.
So I think to end this, I think if there's anything also that I can recommend, it's if you have a friend who is like on a weight loss journey, or just trying to feel healthy, instead of being like, you're so skinny, be like, you look so healthy. Oh, you're glowing today.
Yeah.
And also just like bring in compliments that don't necessarily have to deal with their weight. Like, oh, you bring so much positivity to my life. Because those type of compliments I
Mean
enjoy
a lot.
so much more, and
Yeah.
they mean so much more to me than,
For sure.
oh, wow, you look so skinny. Like, oh, you look so much better. Just simply watch what you say. And honestly, that right there is such a difference.
Yep.
So,
Well, I think that was a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Thank you for opening up on the Radiate
course.
podcast.
and obviously, like, if anyone ever has, like, questions, or if they want to know anything else, like,
Yeah.
we'll do our best to kind of navigate, because, I mean, even
Yeah.
you, Issa, have been on your own journey of just trying to feel healthier physically and mentally, and I think both of us are kind of thriving right now, so,
Yep.
yeah.
You just do what you want. Do what makes you happy. Don't listen to everything else around you. Just do
Don't
what
feel
makes you happy.
pressured that you have to look a certain way.
Yeah, just look how you want.
Yeah.
I mean, also, you're so young. Like,
So young.
we were so young in high school. We're still so freaking young. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much life to live in.
22, baby.
There's so many other things to be worried about. I get that's a big thing, but there's so much more out there to worry about. But you look great. You look beautiful. You bring so much positivity to everybody's life. Thank you for telling us
Right back at you, baby.
about all that. Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for clicking. Oh, before we go, I wanted to talk about our analytics
Oh.
of our podcast.
Okay.
I haven't told Grace Ann any of this, but I will say we hit. I want to get the exact number. We hit 52 downloads on Spotify.
Wait.
Which is, for Spotify, kind of a lot.
52 downloads. Like,
52 streams. Like, people listen, like, 52
oh,
different.
wow.
Yeah. And,
None of those are me.
oh my god, my mom's FaceTiming me. Wait, let me just answer really quick. Mom, I'm on the podcast. Can I call you later?
Hi, Mom.
Hey guys, welcome to the radio.
Okay,
Oh my
bye. I can also see where they listen, and let me just say,
Wait, that's kind of cool.
it's very cool.
Kind of creepy.
So we got a couple from Houston, Texas. Thank you from Houston, San Antonio, Katy, Huntsville, Tyler, Texas, Hamburg.
Hamburg, Germany?
Yes.
That's
Germany.
Sinya. Hey, Sinya.
Okay, that's really sweet. We know you're actually listening, so thank you. Waco, Texas, LaGrange, Texas, College
Tara?
Station, Victoria, Washington, Virginia.
Chris. Hey, Chris. If it's not you, awkward.
Northern Shores,
Awkward.
Michigan. The Woodland Spring, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Probably someone in my family.
Oh, no. Anna's parents, they have a vacation house.
Okay, cute.
Yeah, they're there right
Georgetown,
now.
Texas. Perrysburg, Ohio. These are where people are listening. Cold Spring, Texas.
Oh, Ohio. That's one of my coworkers.
Another Ohio.
coworker.
Hutto,
Shout out
Texas,
to
and
my
Dallas,
Luna
Texas.
girls. Actually, I haven't talked about my Luna family. I am so grateful for you guys. I work for a company called Luna Brand Management. If anybody watching needs any sort of like social media work, website
Yes.
work, hit them up. It's at Luna Brand Management on Instagram. I'll link it down
in
below.
description.
There you go.
Well, I just wanted to tell you that because that was kind of
That
exciting.
is so exciting.
'Cause
Thank
Spotify's kinda
you.
hard.
Thank you guys so much for supporting us. We're having so much fun.
So much fun.
And we really hope that you enjoyed this podcast. And we hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Yep. And we hope you stay.
Radiant. Bye, guys.
Bye.